Good morning and welcome to the Fellowship of Spirit Zoom meeting and hybrid meeting. Today we're gonna come to you with an exciting and informative program that we hope will enrich and make your life better. And all you don't have to do anything but just sit back and relax and soak it in. We've got Freddie Brown is going to do our music for us today. And Susan Barnes is going to have our opening prayer. And Margaret Cheesebro was going to do our spiritual reading, but she tells me that she has pneumonia and she's going to bring it in and give it to me to read because she can't express herself without coughing. So we hope that she gets here pretty soon. Then, of course, now our main speaker today is Reverend Dr. George Harris, and he's got a message for us that I'm sure will be a great addition to our lives and to help us along our journey. And that's what we here at Fellowship try to do, is just to help each other along our journey of life. We think that life is not a problem to be solved, but a journey to be cherished, and that's the way we view it. So anyway, have a good time, and we're going to start with a musical prelude by Fred Brown. Here we go.
This is a song from one of my favorite guys. His name's Neil Young. shadows upon our eyes, leaves us helpless, helpless, helpless. Baby, can you hear me now? Helpless, helpless, helpless. Leaves me helpless, helpless, helpless. All right. Thank you, Fred.
Nice harmonica.
Really?
Very good.
Yeah, it's really good that you're able to manipulate all that stuff around without knocking your teeth out, so it's really good.
Didn't have his kick drum with him.
Yeah, yeah. He's still kicking, and that's good.
Yeah, he's kicking ass.
So, Susan, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Susan is going to give us our opening prayer.
Okay, so let us close our eyes, take a deep breath, and feel that God energy flowing through us. And today we give thanks. We give thanks for the wonderful music that's provided for us, music that helps to heal our souls and our bodies. We give thanks for the wonderful words of wisdom that are going to be given to us. So let us open our minds and our hearts so that we can become channels of blessings to all that we need. We give thanks for this fellowship, for the help that it gives us, for the strength to walk our path day by day. We ask for a blessing on all those who are not with us in this moment, for those who need healing. We ask that each one of us find the right way, the right things to do to help one another. For all of these things, we give thanks. And so it is.
All right. Thank you, Susan. Okay, so now we have another song. You do Surely the Presence? Okay, Surely the Presence.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. You can feel the mighty power and the grace. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Nice. Figured it was a throwback.
Yeah.
We do it every once in a while. You do good. You do a good rendition of it.
Yes.
Okay. Let us do our reflection moment. Love
Love
produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. All right. So, by the way, I should have said that. I'm Ron Holloway, and I'll be your moderator today. I always remember to introduce everyone else and often forget about myself, which is not a bad thing. I'm pretty much obsessed with me, and that's been my problem my whole life. That's what I strive to overcome. Anyway, so today for our spiritual reading, Margaret has this from the Church of the Wild by How Nature Invites Us into the Sacred by Victoria Lures. Anyone here familiar with her? Anyway, well, Margaret is, and so I'm going to read a passage from that book, and this is Victoria speaking. So, my personal spirituality is rooted in the Christ tradition, a term I prefer over Christian, which is a label I find difficult to swallow these days. Rather, I see myself as an edge walker, wandering along the hemlines of the Christ tradition. I stand at the inside edge of a tradition that has brought many people, including me, deep pain, and has also brought many people, including me, deep joy and meaning. I've adopted the term edge walker from nature writer Terry Tempest Williams. The Encyclopedia of Religion and Nature describes her edge walking as traveling the narrow space between the religious tradition she credits for having forged her soul and her direct and very personal experiences in nature that have revealed a truth of their own. Perhaps you are an edge walker too. Edge walkers occupy a thin space and are, by definition, a bit lonely. Most people inhabit the vast spaces on both sides of the edges, but those of us called to the thresholds, the edges between, live in this thin space and recognize one another when we meet. The Church of the Wild is one way to help us live into a new entry of the kingdom of God, and that includes the whole system of life and regards all humans and all species as inherently good and valuable. In this kingdom, and it's not kingdom, it's K-I-N-DOM, she said. In this kingdom, we love neighbors, all neighbors as ourselves. We do unto others, all others, as we would have them do unto us. Can the world be saved by love alone? It sounds nice. Like a meme with a sunset in the background. Some may want to call this a spiritual bypass in our current state of crisis. The need for immediate and active resolution is real. Against what odds in these coming days of unraveling can love prevail? How can a civilization based on domination and control and selfishness and all the other disturbing things wrong with our society change into literally its opposite before we succeed in destroying the entire planet? It's implausible, and yet the preposterous transformation power of love at the core of nearly every religion, including my own, may just be the only way through. That was from Victoria Lures, I think you're saying that. It's L-O-O-R-Z. So anyway, that was from Margaret, who was substituting for Carol. So anyway, that was our spiritual reading for the day. And we have one more song. And is it going to be Love, Wear Your Love Like Heaven?
Indeed.
All right. So we know who did that one too.
The blue sky pushing blue, scarlet breeze, angels view, crimson ball, saints from view. Where your love like heaven, where your love like heaven, where your love like heaven. Whoa. Kiss me once more, fill me with song, Allah. Kiss me once more, that I may, where your love like heaven, yeah. Where your love like heaven, whoa, where your love like heaven, whoa. Color sky, Havana day, color sky, Rosamond, yeah, yeah, Alizé, yeah, crimson, well, where your love like heaven, oh, oh, where your love like heaven, oh, 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 where your love like heaven, Lord. Kiss me once more, fill me with song, Allah, kiss me once more, that I may, where my love like heaven, where my love like heaven, where my love like heaven. Cannot believe what I see. All I have wished for will be all our race, proud and free. Well, where love like heaven, where love like heaven, where love like heaven. Well, oh, kiss me once more, fill me with song. Allah, kiss me that I may, where my love, where my love. Come on, where my love, well.
All right,
Put it on, baby.
Cat Stevens.
That's Donovan, actually.
Is it Donovan? I thought it was Cat Stevens.
That's just my rendition, probably
That's
sounds
your-
like Cat Stevens.
Yeah, it was done by Freddie Brown. Thank you, Fred.
You're welcome.
Okay, so today we have freshly in from Albuquerque, Reverend Dr. George Harris. And so, without further ado, if you're ready, we're ready for you.
Do I need to put the mic on?
Yes? Yeah, here, let me have that. You ready to go?
Good morning. To all of you, for the love and light of God inside, reaching us and teaching us all how to take this journey into love that we're on. And this is like the fourth step in it, and sharing with you how wonderful and vibrant and alive you are, and how beautiful and healthy you are. And that's part of the journey of love, is to get in touch with who we are, made in the image and likeness of God. And we're going to be talking about becoming an integrated master of your life. How does that sound, to be a master of your life? So that you're in charge of everything that goes on, not letting anything disturb us, knock us off track. So I give you a blessing before I start with this, which says, I cleanse you, and I bless you, and I respect you as I respect myself. And I let this group be the water hole to quench your thirst in your path of spiritual search for yourself. The moment your thirst has been quenched, the group has fulfilled its purpose. So we have a lot to do to finish that. Anyway, there's a lot happening in our world today, and if you really looked at the outside part of what's going on, it would be very scary and upsetting and not understandable in some respects. When we talk about God is everywhere and in everything, how can that be? We have issues ranging from political stuff to wars and conflicts, financial stuff and greed and military conflicts and war, relationship upsets and charges beyond all of that. And at the same time as that's going on, our Earth, the planet, is moving into the fifth dimension, which just means it's a higher vibrational energy. And that means that we're going to cleanse out a lot of what's been going on in the third dimension, which is just the physical, mental, and emotional. That's our third. The fifth is going to be our oneness with God, which is going to be great when we get there. Actually, it's happening now. It's just everybody's getting awake at different times and transferring to the fifth dimension in their lives. But we're going to have things looking different. We're going to have a connection with God, that we will talk more with God by our thoughts than our words. Health, well, there's just going to be a lot of things going on, and I'm in the process of creating this community here to help us all join into the fifth dimension and be a part of God's love and light. So the world's going to look a lot different because we are changing, we are growing, and it's going to feel different. It's going to look different, and it's going to be different. And we have to be a big part of that if we choose to be that. Now, we could choose not to, but if we do, then it's going to create quite the painful life like we've been having all this time anyway. All the pain that we've gone through relationships and relationships with everything. So we need to choose to be the brilliant, lovable, strong, powerful being that you were born to be. And we can create that in this time, and we're let go of all the dark stuff that's happening. Is going to just roll out of life because the light and love of God is taking charge. We might not see it all the time, but I've been noticing lately myself how the groups that I belong to, meditation groups and so forth in Albuquerque, that we can look at how many do we have here, maybe 10 people in this small group doing their spiritual work, how important that is, and then we take that times 10 people, maybe there's another church down the road, and another church, and start thinking, wow, I'm not here by myself. I'm here with all of these other souls, and we're all working together to create the life that we want. And then you take it outside of the United States and to other countries. Billions of people, of human beings, who have chosen to come into this planet at this time, or earlier, depending on how old you are, and wanting to come in now even, which I'll share a story about in a minute. But it can be awfully painful if we choose not to, so that's why it's time to just start saying yes. I choose life, I choose oneness, I choose love. That's the biggest thing we want to do, is choose love. Because, as I said, it's difficult because when we start going against the ego wants to be in charge and hold that pain inside, the judgments that you made about yourself since you were a child. And it's difficult to fight against the ego because it's fairly strong. It has its way with us. And the reason it does is because we give into it because we're familiar with it. We're familiar with how the pain feels from the whole time we were growing up. And so we get caught up into it. And sometimes it takes us a while to just wake up, wake up. I don't need to listen to you anymore. I'm listening to the God inside of myself. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of that. But I'll start off with the first one. If you remember 3 weeks ago when I was here first starting, I talked about this angel card reading that I had found in a packet of paperwork in my storage shed, and how it was from the 2001, and practically everything in it was, what I want to say, it was a creation of, or very similar to what was going on in my life right now, if not even right on. I mean, I read this stuff and went, wow, God, this is going on, this, and this. And so what I started working with you guys and myself is getting in touch more with my inner child, which we need to do to help heal that inner child and love him and her so that we can help him grow up within us. And to do that was to let go of issues that I have with my parents, especially my mother. And I talked about how I had been doing some release work, loving my child, but releasing my mother and my father, especially my mother. And so one of the ways to do that was to write a letter And I sat down and wrote a letter to them and explained how I felt and how angry I was and carrying this stuff, and then realized as I did this that at some point I needed to let it go. And so I did. I tried to look at it from a positive way, that there must be times when she was really good. It wasn't abusive all the time, but good sometimes, and so that's a start. And it went on to where I felt like, yeah, there must have been times that she was really good. I'd forgotten that, or didn't remember it or something, and now I want to remember that it wasn't just all this bad stuff, there was some good stuff in there that helped me stay alive. Well, then it continued this past last month, because my birthday was on March the 28th. And I went and drove to a senior center event up in Rio Rancho, which is north of Albuquerque, northwest. And on the way back, I was starting to think about things about this. I'm going, God, it's my birthday today. And I said, well, that means my mother gave birth to me. I wonder what that was like. She must have loved me to have been there to give birth to me, to be pregnant, because she and my father had two daughters afterwards. So my mind just started going on about this, like, wow, I was loved when I was born, and I must have been loved for some years after that because of my siblings coming in and the situations going on, and it wasn't until later. And so I started to feel some compassion for her, and I had a thought that, it's just taking a minute to come to me. Here I was turning 77 years old on my birthday, and 77 years old, I've carried junk around against my parents. And it felt so good for me to say, you know, it's time to let this really go, because I feel sorry for her that whatever happened, well, I know what happened. Some things changed her life physically and medically that changed a whole lot of energy in her that helped her, or not helped her, but caused her to become the aggressive, abusive person. And it's too bad that she didn't get enough love, because she didn't get it from her husband. My dad wasn't there, they blocked each other. She didn't get much from us because we were dealing with all the stress and the abuse. So I feel sorry for her. And then I just realized, God, let me let this go, God. This has no more meaning on me. I came home and I had an envelope that I'd been carrying around for a while, and it was notes from my sister, my one that was a year older than me, who's passed away already. And she wrote this about 2 months after her mother passed away, which was in 1988, yeah. And I'd been carrying it around, I don't know why, but it kept saying my name on the front. And when I lived there, from her address in the back, from Edgewood, Colorado. And I finally decided to open it up. And there was a letter, first of all, from my sister, who was complaining about, apparently I had written something or said something to her that was negative, and she was upset about it, and sending this letter to me. But the interesting thing is inside the letter was my mother's birth certificate and death certificate. And I've been carrying this around ever since it happened, not looking at it, not knowing what it was. And I was like, well, let me look and read it. And I'm looking at the birth certificate, I'm going, oh God, here was this soul that was born into this physical body. And she had to be loved when she was born. And being born into this physical form, and she's something more than what I had been carrying around in my mind. She was a soul that came from God and came in, and this was her life. That was very stressful and upsetting, as well as for the rest of us. And then she passed on, and Janine pointed out in a letter too that in between she was saying a couple of statements like, well, this is my mother too. Now Janine, I thought, had the same relationship to my mother that I did, because she treated us both with a whole lot of negativity and abuse and so forth. So it shocked me a bit that Janine said, no, it's my mother too. And my wife and I happened to be out of town for that weekend, and I didn't know anything about it till I got back. And Janine said in the letter that she had been running down in the basement for something, coming back up to mom's room, and etc. And I didn't know about it till I got in town, and because my phone had been turned off. And there was a call from Janine to call her, and so I called the hospital to just talk to Evelyn Harris, and she says, nobody's talked to you yet? And I said, no. And she said, well, she passed away about 3 hours ago. And I was somewhat sad, but not a whole lot, because at that time I still had been carrying around this junk. So anyway, to look at this is what it's come down to, this envelope that says a birth certificate for my mother and a death certificate for my mother. It's there for some reason. It's there around love, because this is what I'm talking with you about, how much love is around us and how we need to open up to it. And so I feel so much more love for my mother now, which means I have more love for myself and more love for other people that have come out. And that's why I'm here, to share this all with you, to start taking what I tell you is going on in my life and share with you, and take it in your own life. If you need help with it, let me know. So with all the drama that's going on in relationship work, I'm not the only one going through it. People are going through death and birth and all sorts of things all the time. And we want to still say that God is still here. There is no place where God is not. And I remember the day I was doing that, I pointed over to Ron and said, God's here, God's here, God's in your muscles, God's in everywhere. Sometimes we don't remember that, we don't think of that. We think, oh, we're out here in this physical beingness. But we are more than that. Way more than that, because love is so powerful and so strong when we get to it, because it's a part of God. And when it comes, you can never be quite sure how it's going to show up. Like what happened to me, these notes and reading them, and love shows up and changes things for me. And the Course in Miracles, it says, or in Life, I think it's a Course in Miracles, ask and knock and the door shall be answered, ask and you shall receive. And so the important one is the door, knock and the door will answer. So there's 3 steps to take. First of all, as the door knocks of love, you have to open up and see what's there. And it could become in any form, like something wonderful, something painful. But love is powerful. And when you open the door and love is there, the next thing is to ask it in. And you want to ask it into your heart, into your mind, into your body, into your affairs. And then the third step is that you let it come in. You allow it. First of all, the door knocked, you open the door, you allow it, and then as it becomes alive in you more and more, you allow it to become alive. Hold on to this love inside of yourself and go, this is who I am, and I'm not letting anything take me away from it. I am this love, and it comes in, and so you want to just bring it into your body, dissolve it, so that this love dissolves into every moment of your body, every cell of your body. How would that be? So, open the door, allow, and then dissolve it. And I want you all to remember that love is to teach only love. From once you open your door to whatever's going to come into your life with love is to teach love, because that's what you are. That's what we all are. We aren't our ego, we aren't our fears, we aren't any of that stuff. We are our love. And to have that love for other people, as I was saying before, to realize and reconnect to the people that are here, to the people in Albuquerque, to the people wherever, to connect to those people more than just this space, because we're one with all. And that's a difficult truth to kind of look at, but it is so magnificent when you get to some understanding that there's no separation. There's only God in me and God in you and us together. So there's 3 stories I want to share with you about this. The first one is, on the news the other day, they showed a picture of a video in the Gaza Strip of a young baby girl who just had been born recently, and they were carrying her in they put her in a nursery. And this little girl was born premature 2 months and only weighed 2 months. I mean, she looked so small. And after she had been born, her mother and father died, and her brother too. They were killed in the conflict that was going on. And so they rushed this little baby off to the nursery and put her in there. And I looked at that picture, I thought, God, there's a lot of love right there. This soul chose to come down into this conflict, and I would like to be awake to what she's planning on doing with her life. Because for that to happen, I had to take a strong decision on the other side to say, yes, I'm choosing to go into physical form in that body right now. Wow. For the rest of us, we could do that too, to say, yes, I choose to go through this because it's love is on the other side. So, the second one was a story I told you about my parents, especially my mother, and the letter I got and all that. So the first was that, the second's the little baby, and the third one is a friend of mine named Jim, who I've known 37 years. And we connected with each other when we moved here in Albuquerque, him from somewhere, and we were in Toastmasters together. And our families became close together and shared a lot of family get-togethers, and Jim and I had lots of fun and joy with each other. We played golf together. When Peggy died, I did a memorial service for her. I've had so much fun with him over the years with things that we've done for each other. But in November of last year, things changed. And he tended to withdraw a little bit. He was not communicative about things. And then in December, he met me in the park because we used to go for walks beyond his house, and he met me there. Had gotten angry at me about something or other, yelled at me, and then just said whatever. And then he said, well, I'm letting go of our relationship. And I was shocked, like, what? And he says, I'm letting go of the relationship. And I said, with me or with the world? What are you doing? And he says, don't know yet, but I need to do this. And then he walked away, and I was, no, before that I said, well, I'll try to process this, but I need to talk with you about it again. He said, oh, that'd be fine. Well, that never happened. I called him numerous times, he never replied back. He just said goodbye. So for me, for about 3 months, I was going through a lot of weird emotions, loss. I even felt like I was going through a divorce for a while, since we've been together for so long. And I decided at one point to look at my Bible, which is this angel card reading. And I call it a Bible because everything in it's like connected to my life right now. And so I went to see if there was something in relationship to that, and it says, oh, here it is over here. Wrong ones. This one, good. Okay. Ego is invested in making sure that I'm everyone's friend. There's high priority in self-value, but this energy takes away from defending myself inside, the energy of being with friends all the time. I need balance. My child is not getting what I need, so I had to give some more work for him as well. And it says I need to be a friend to myself. How? Just start looking, find me being myself, not worrying about some people outside. Energy that I project is part of my power, but it's unbalanced. As it changes, it will be more authentic. So I want to validate myself through my offering of my friendship towards others. And I need to believe and accept my value to myself first, though, because it comes from the inside to the outside. And I'm like, wow, okay, there it is. And then the other thing in the Course in Miracles is that every moment is a call for love or a giving of love. And so after about 2 months, I started trying to get out of the state of depression, or not depression, but anger and resentment I was in. And started putting love in his direction, going, there must be something he needs to receive that I don't have to give. I don't know what that is, but I bless him. I don't know where he's going, what he's doing in his life. I bless him and let him be on his journey. I'm thankful for the times we have together. And it's still part of what's going on in my life and going to be going on in other people's lives as we move forward into the fifth dimension. Changes are going to be made, and we have to be in a place of being able to accept them and know that they're there for a reason. They're there for love. So now I have to say yes to love and believe that he's on the side of looking for love and I'm giving it to him. Another step for me on the path of love. So there's been lots of steps happening to me for a while on the path of love. I'm sure there's been steps happening for all of you. So I want you to just take the message of love, self-love. I'm going to read something here in just a moment. That to really get to the place inside where anything can happen around you, and you may feel it for a while, you may be upset for a while, but you do the work you need to do to bring the love in, to calm it down, to make it whole again, and to make yourself whole and yourself in relationships. It's going to be powerful as you do it. It's been powerful for me. I've told a couple of people that you all know that I went through some medical procedures for the last 3.5 years. And a week and a half ago, I went to my primary doctor to find out how things were. And right now, they got it set up where I go every 3 months for a checkup for this part or all of that. Anyway, he pointed out what had been going on, and I intuitively felt in my body then that I was finally done with all that health stuff. I'm back in my body more than I was before I went in the first place 3.5 years ago. So that's been a journey of love in myself, and I'm really happy about that and moving forward. So, to end, let me read you this. We got to understand about love more as well. It's behind here. Bear with me. Or don't bear with me, it's okay. I put a little note on here saying which glasses are for which. Okay. The extraordinary magic of self-love. Love gives you the first insight into eternity. That's a powerful statement. The love you have can put you into the place of reaching to eternity. Love is the only experience that transcends time. That is why lovers are not afraid of death. Love knows no death. How often do you have unconditional love and deep acceptance for yourself, the way they are? Many of us get wrapped up in looking for approval, appreciation, acceptance, and love from the outer world and don't realize that there's a vast infinite supply of it already here. Self-love is one of the most powerful habits and healing gifts that you can learn to give yourself. You are truly the only one who can be there 100% for you and accept who you are no matter what happens in your life. While others say they may have a deep appreciation for you, only you have the power to let in their love and to feel it inside. The interesting thing is that you are the only able to feel another person's love for yourself when your self-love is present in your life. By loving yourself, you allow in love from the outside yourself. Love comes knocking at the door. So, take that in for today. We'll see you in a month from now, the fourth Sunday of the month. And then practice some more on loving yourself 100% during the day. You can say to yourself, and I started doing that when I read this thing, God, I love you, George. I love you no matter what's going on. When there was difficult things, I would say it. So it has no boundaries, it has no death, it has no beginning, it has no end, it just is. And we choose now to be it as holy as we can. And I'll be back next month and talk to you some more. We'll continue this journey of path and start looking at some of the steps to take on becoming an integrated master of your life. Namaste.
Thank you, George. Give me the microphone back. Thank you. Does anyone want to come forward and say something to George?
George, I'd just like to say that I understand from the relationship with Jim how you feel, because I felt the same way with Bob when he passed away. But when I came to the place of acceptance, just like you said, I was able to open up for a new love relationship.
Yeah. Good for you.
Anyone else? Well, thank you, George. We appreciate it. We appreciate you coming to us all the way from driving up here or coming to us by Zoom, however it is that you're able to share at the time, and we appreciate you coming and sharing with us. But we got you scheduled now for every third Sunday of the month, fourth Sunday of the month, and we look forward to more and more good information from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
May I comment? May I comment?
Yes,
Yes, this is Doris. And I wanted to say thank you to Reverend George. Today, his message opened up a pathway of forgiveness for me. I have been working on forgiving a particular person, and I'm really having a hard time with it. And just hearing the story of his mother and his relationship reminded me that we don't always know what causes a person to be or do what they do. And there, but for the grace of God go I. So it helps me in thinking about this person that I am not aware of what caused her to do it, how she was thinking, and why she was thinking that. However, with love and forgiveness, you know, I just need to love her, pray for her, and forgive it. So thank you so much for that. It really helped me.
Talk to you later, Doris.
thank you, Doris.
I wanted to add one more thing, I forgot what I said.
Sure.
Not only was Jim involved with all the stuff I talked about, but he was also the first one I called when I got out of my throat
We
surgery.
can't hear you.
What?
You need to face
Oh.
us.
I was talking about Jim, not only the things that we talked about, but he was also the first one that I called when I got out of the hospital for my throat surgery. And he was the first one that always come and visit me and see how I was doing and support me all this time. So that part of it made it even worse, painful for me. Because he'd been there my whole process, it was weird.
So I have a question, okay? You kind of left us hanging. What has developed in your relationship with Jim? Is it healed or is it still in flux, or what's going on with
It's
your?
probably still in flux.
Still in flux.
There's times that fear comes up, or ego, or blame, or judgment, but for the most part, it's just like what I talked about. I gotta let it go and go back to love. So it's practicing the presence of love.
Well, thank you, George. We appreciate it. All right. Now, Brett has another song for us. What is it?
Called I Shall Be Released.
I Shall Be Released. Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan song. In the chorus, there's a line that the song is kind of written from the idea of hope and salvation in a dark place, maybe even physically a dark place. I met a friend of mine. Every once in a while you run into people that you hadn't really know that well, but you knew of them, and you find out that a lot of people are struggling these days in this country with incarceration and rehabilitation. One of the main things about anything, about holding on to hope and grabbing on to hope, is acceptance and realization of why you are where you are in the first place and taking responsibility for that. So, the song has a little bit of all that in there. Say everything can be replaced, yet every distance is not near. So I remember every face of every man who put me here. I see my light come shining from the west unto the east. Any day now, any day. They say every man he needs protection. They say every man he must fall. Yet I swear I see my reflection so high above these prison walls, and I see my light go shining from the west unto the east. I know any day now, any day now, I shall be released. Standing next to me in this lonely crowd is a man who swears he's not to blame. All day long I hear him cry, crying out loud, swearing that he was brave, but I know I see my light go shining. Yes, I know, from the west unto the east. And any day now, well, any day now, I shall be released.
All right. Thank you, Fred. Okay, so now we're going to have our celebration of abundance. Steve's gonna get our plate. So let us put over our heart that which we intend to contribute. And repeat after me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive through infinity. I am prosperous. So next week, I will not be here. I have to go to Santa Fe for my times that I go in the spring and the fall over there to participate in a temple over there, some things that we do. But Jerry and Steve will do a good job of moderating. So it is, Shay is one? Shay, okay. Well, anyway, there will be someone here who will keep things moving, and I'm sure Mark Wolf will be speaking, is that correct? Mark Wolf will be here next Sunday. Also, it's potluck Sunday, and we hope that you will be here in health and in love. So that even though I'm not here, I won't be, I'll be back the following week. So, anyway, so that's it. Are the children gonna come in, Jerry?
What?
Are the children gonna come in?
Yes, they are.
Okay, well, we're just about ready for them.
Okay, I'll go tell them. What, a little bit of thing though, I'm looking for a maintenance person, somebody to help with stuff around here, mostly filling in the holes on the side here that the skunk has dug. There's some major holes there and we need to do some creative fixing. We've done several things now to try to stop the skunks and we just can't. They just are, I don't know what to say, but they were low.
So we need a skunk warrior.
We need somebody who has some new ideas about it, and also somebody who has some time to put in some labor and filling in the holes and anyway, so if anybody knows of anybody who does, you know, can fit us into their maintenance schedule, that would be great. If not, I'm gonna start asking around different places and see, but, I've got several things here that we need help with, okay?
Okay, sounds good. We need someone to be a maintenance person to do some things around here.
Yes.
And, there you go. All right. So here are our children. What are you guys gonna do today? I'm not sure the light kind of went off, and the battery may have gone down. I don't know. Can you still hear?
Pushing the button.
Yeah. Okay. You just hold it between you two instead of moving it back and forth. Okay, don't forget to read the title.
There you go.
Okay, so today we made bracelets and Mother's Day gifts. And today we're reading out of the mountains, meadows, and moonbeams. The skunk with the spunk. They tell you not to play with me, and if you do, you'll be so sorry. They say I have some awful stinks, and that I'm really quiet, a jinx. The talk about me does offend, I just want to be your friend. You have not even met me, so how can you agree? If you would come in and meet me, I'm sure that you would see the talk about me does offend. I just want to be your friend. They say I have a real bad smell and often repel, but no one even knows me well. So tell me how they tell. The talk about me does offend, I just want to be your friend. If to the gossip you do listen, a fine friend you'll be missing. If you would use your own mind, a new playmate you will find. For talk about me does offend, I just want to be your friend. Have you ever listened to someone talk bad about another? If you did, let me ask you. Listen. If you have ever listened to someone talk bad about another, if you did, let me ask you why. What good came out of it? Any? Of course not. When you listen to gossip, you are really showing others that you cannot think for yourself or choose your own friends. It is a very, very bad thing to talk about others in an unkind way. If people know you don't want to hear gossip, it makes them feel a little ashamed for spreading stories about others. Perhaps they'll stop doing it. You are a beautiful part of what God's Spirit, just as everyone else is, no matter what bad thing a person has done. They shouldn't be talked about. Walk away from a gossiper. Use the fine mind God gave you to make your own judgments of people. Everyone in this entire world has done at least one thing that they are sorry for, because we are a part of God. We must forgive them and leave all the true debt. Judging to God alone, you wouldn't want people to gossip about you, so walk away from those who gossip about others.
Good advice, good advice. Thank you, kids.
Kind of makes me think about the skunk issue that we have.
Yeah.
I mean, haven't you ever heard the more that you push something away, the more that it comes toward you? So maybe if we embrace that little skunk in our hearts as one of God's beautiful creatures and say, welcome, stay here as long as you want.
As long as you don't dig holes under the building.
Yeah, just enjoy yourself, yeah.
So we're gonna send him to your house and you can do that.
Let's not declare war on us.
Thank you, Kate. Okay, so Bill Clark has got our closing message.
Okay, here's a little talk, a little subject.
Whoa.
It's all good, it's all good.
What works, what doesn't? If it's working, keep doing it. If it's not working, stop doing it. If you don't know what to do, don't do anything. That sounds easy, but it's a good philosophy. When frustrated by something, a little serenity exercise helps. Take a sheet of paper and draw a line down the middle. On one side, write what works. On the other side, write what doesn't work. When we start our list, it's amazing how much clarity comes in just writing out our thoughts. The walkaway is, when I'm frustrated, I'll remember to take a deep breath and give the problem some thought. I will get back to the basics of what works and what doesn't work, then act accordingly. Y'all have a great week this month. God bless.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
So, when you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. There you go. All right. So now we're going to sing. Are you gonna put the thing up here, Steve?
I'm gonna be real careful this time.
Okay.
Ready to do circling then?
So let's go ahead and circle up.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah, just a minute.
You're in your spot. Careful with those arms. Well, let's
Yeah.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, how are you?
Good.
Great. Where's your baby? Your shirt? Wow.
And Donna, we're really glad to see you not having to
She looks
have
like
your
Mom a
cane
little bit.
today, or did you just leave it at home?
Get in the
Where are you going?
No, you're doing fine, you're doing fine. We're glad to see it. Okay, go ahead, Steve. Fred.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together in unity, and yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as our power, family all are we. So let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. And yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
This is my family of choice, and I love each and every one of you. And I hope that you have a great week. So may God bless you and keep you until we meet again.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. We're going to sign off now. We'll see you again in a week.
Over here, I
Hung in my closet.
Oh.
Too long.
just got that.
And it's fine. So, thank you very much. We hope to see you next week.
Okay, let's go finish.
Have a good week.